Today I want to talk a little bit about keeping our testimonies strong. I'm going to click on the Eternal Life button and the Be Humble button. And so these scriptures are all inviting us to be humble and saying we'll receive eternal life if we do so. I'm going to scroll down to a chapter I found earlier, Alma chapter 5, this one. And basically what's happening in this chapter is Alma, a prophet, is preaching to the people of Zarahemla, who once had really strong testimonies, but recently have either lost their faith or they've just gotten lazy and they're not really keeping the commandments anymore. So, in verse 26, he says to them, "And now behold, I say unto you, my brethren, if ye have experienced a change of heart, and if ye have felt to sing the song of redeeming love, I would ask, can ye feel so now?" He's saying, clearly you experienced conversion at some point. You must have had a spiritual experience. So, do you still remember that? Have you forgotten? And I think that's a pretty good message to us today. If we're starting to have doubts or lose our faith, we can always draw upon experiences that we've had in the past that are undeniable to us that God is real. That's why I think it's important that we write them down, at least, so we always remember him and remember how we felt in those moments. Then he says, "Have ye walked, keeping yourselves blameless before God? Could ye say, if you were called to die at this time within yourselves, that ye have been sufficiently humble, that your garments have been cleansed and made white through the blood of Christ, who will come to redeem his people from their sins? Are you stripped of pride? Are you stripped of envy? Do you make a mock of your brother?" There's a ton of different traits in here that these people have that are not very Christ-like, and he's kind of checking them and inviting them. He's really inviting them to check themselves for these things. And so I think it's important, two things, for us to remember our spiritual experiences and to check ourselves against Christ-like attributes to see how we're doing.